I feel like having a little bit of fun with you guys today. So, you want to know one of my wildest theories about just like aliens and Earth? Now, mind you, to really absorb this at first, you have to accept, you have to sit on the foundation with me that the alien invasion already happened, and the, I'm not going to attribute this to like a race of people, but the group of people that is constantly colonizing and corrupting lands beyond their own and never really able to find a home, they basically just turn other people's homes into they squat in other people's homes and hoard all the wealth and the people of those lands in these little like storage facilities basically, so they can keep on extracting wealth until they have to like throw the whole land away. So the aliens, if you want to call them that, are whoever aligns with that energetic signature of, I don't have a home on Earth. I'm existentially afraid of my loneliness and my lack of connectivity to this reality, and I need to conquer and dominate it externally to sedate my internal fear and lack of like belonging. Because think about this, like, why do the people who have lived in union with the earth, people who've lived in connection with history beyond, like the one beyond indoctrination, how come we're the people that get punished by the people who just showed up? That's I'm not making this anyone's better than anybody. I'm just saying, how come the people of Earth get punished and lied to about our history, lied to about our ancestors, lied to about our spirituality, lied to about who we are, lied to about our dreams, our goals, our passions, what we've done on this planet, and the royalty that we've really touched, and the kingdoms we've created on this planet? Why do we get lied to about all that shit? It's a the spiritual aspect of colonialism is a form of destiny swapping. And if you really study that Bible in alignment with like other spiritual books and practices, and also history beyond the colonizers' reach, you'll understand that that story, that like Christian book, it's a means of Europeans destiny swapping with Africans while doubling down on destroying the psyche of Africans to make us not feel like we deserve some kind of divine authority or divine experience in this world that we are so connected and aligned with, beyond the society that we are enslaved to. Now that we have that foundation established, we can ask the question, well, if the aliens are here, how come we can't communicate with them? Or how come they haven't communicated with us? They have communicated with us. This is why we can't reveal that we've communicated with them at all. Now, mind you, this is me putting myself in the position of like one of those CIA guys. So you don't have to believe this at all, but this is how I'd go about it if I were a highly intelligent human being who had access to federal resources to allow me to connect with extraterrestrial species. Knowing the people are already so ignorant and afraid of other human beings. Think about this. Human beings hate humans because they're black, because they're women, because they're disabled, or because they're like some divergent form of human. But if we can't even get over our own species, do you really think we could sit there and even come close to competing with, but much less collaborating with, an alien species of higher intelligence? No, they will look at us and our own issues as entertainment, whether they want to involve themselves or not. And even worse than that, they'll look at us as a resource for them to use. Because if we can't figure out how to organize and mobilize ourselves, they're going to find out a way to do it for us. Now, mind you, if you're a human who, again, like the position I was describing myself to be in, I'm not, but for this scenario, if I'm one of these CIA agents, one of these religious elites, top of society people who has access to this world beyond the world the masses know of, I wouldn't want to be human food or biofuel for aliens. I would try to find a way, narcissistically, to get myself out of this, or at the least, to benefit from this transaction that's happening. Higher intelligent species that we cannot compete with is asking us to surrender to their mission and their goals so we can get crumbs out of it, or try to fight against them. It's like people protesting in the streets trying to fight against the US military that's got $1 trillion budget. Like, no, you're fighting against fucking Chappie and robot dogs, bro. You're not fighting against just another human being with like a pistol. But this also ties into the theory that I said that human beings at our lowest point, like at our least empathetic point, might be the most scary, villainous, vile creatures on this planet Earth. Even more than the bear, than the lion, than the tigers. The reason why I say this is because the theory that I've come up with for our alien contact and why we can't publicly discuss it are because of what the transaction is in the relationship that we have with these aliens. And you guys got to stop sitting here acting like aliens are just, oh, they're only green people that hang in the sky, or they don't exist at all because you're like in that religious psychosis. You have to realize this reality that we live in is so ridiculously spiritual, metaphysical, that religions and the mainstream religions are more so playing as a coping mechanism for your inability to explain or exist in the complex, rather than it being an actual tool to help you develop your psyche and then become a conscious person and contributor to this creative reality that we live in. Because it's a lot harder to control you if you know of your own power and you can control yourself and then create authentically from within than it is to if you reject yourself, you're afraid of your own gifts and your own divergent being, and then you submit to whatever is going to give you salvation through the means of validation or acceptance of like the ruling class. But back to the point that I'm trying to get to here is the transaction that I believe is happening, and this is going to get crazy. Aliens want gold is one of the most valuable resources of this planet. And these aliens that we're speaking about, that is one of the things that they wanted from this planet. But the only thing that I can see that is more valuable than gold and all the many uses that it has, especially for a higher intelligent species, is human being. Especially human beings they did not create. Some other divinely created human beings that already existed on Earth. They want ownership of those. And there's been some multi-generational attempt into understanding, like reverse engineering what it means to be a human, literally in reverse engineering humanity into robotics for the sake of creating a competing class of humans to what is already been created, or to basically like infiltrate humanity and then control us laterally, like through our peers. And having human beings over time, like so disconnected from history and reality, we don't understand that like we're already engaging with these robots and these like pseudo human beings. But how would these aliens get people unless they were just like straight up, like how would they get people to test them unless they were just like straight up abducting people? What if, theory, allegedly, entertainment purposes only here, what if the wealthy people of our planet, in their immense sociopathic narcissism, what if they said, instead of selling your soul to the devil, what if what you were really doing was selling the highest valued commodity on Earth to the highest bidder? And what is a higher bidder than literal, unseen, untouched alien technology? Imagine if, in this era we're living in, and maybe this has been going on for years, imagine if the aliens that are interacting with human beings are not good, and they're saying, hey, if you human beings can create systems that create a bunch of kids that won't be taken care of and won't be raised by their parents, but can be either lost kids sent into systems where they're disconnected from village and disconnected from family, disconnected from self, what if we happen to not abduct, but you, federal government, lose children on accident in the most highly surveilled country on planet Earth? And then in you losing those kids actually are getting funneled in, and again, I don't want to sound too conspiratorial here, but funneled through underground systems and routes and tunnels in exchange to these aliens in order for them to give us technology that we can use for our military. And then in hopefully exchanging real human beings and human trafficking children in exchange for technology, we can become the military power that we sold our American soul in order to become. And this is why there'll never be any type of save the kids or real shit, because they're not just trafficking to human beings and billionaires. Kids are being trafficked to... See, I sound crazy now.